I'm going to be sharing with you, on one hand, is going to be very simple, possibly even insulting, but I'm not going to apologize for it, because it's the 101 things. It's the small things that just kind of help make your session go smooth, help the wrap up, the follow up. It's one of those 101 things. And it's we call it Pinning 101. And it has to deal with these push pins. Now these push pins are different than the ones that you might get at your local office supply store. These are 5/8 inch steel, dangerously sharp pins. And the first thing we do is, when you go to get a pin, is you see that we have a container. Spread them out on the table where you're working. If you reach in to grab them, you may end up pulling out more than one, and I can guarantee you, you'll only do it once. So with pinning, your top card, the category, the header, gets 2 pins. The yellow cards get 1 pin per card. That's the ratio. And what you want to do is simply butt it up to the card that it falls under and pin it in the middle. You typically have a lot of pins and a lot of cards, so you don't have to have an economy of pins, and this would be wrong, pinning 2 cards with 1 pin, because if you have to move this card, you're going to have a mess. So 1 card, 1 pin per card, pin it in the center. Don't pin it at the top. On humid days, this will start to curl. I kid you not. Do not pin it in the corner. It will start to rotate and flip. You want to pin it, again, butt up to the one right above it, pin in the middle. At the end of a session, what do? You take all of these cards. Typically, you take them off of a board, take them back to a workstation, a computer, and you keyboard it and generate a report. If you spend the time pinning, first of all, you have a neat looking board, and you want to be able to maximize your board space. Messy pinning is just going to cost you time, frustration. Say this card right here gets moved over to a top idea. You could simply move this one up from the bottom and fill the spot. What you want to do is you want to take a roll of tape. These are double pinned. If you only put a single pin in it, what will happen when you go to tape it, you lock the tape on and it starts to spin like that. When you double pin it, you could just run it down the side, run it down the other side, take the pins out, fold it up like this, and I can tape usually 3-4 columns and it'll still fold up nice. So I can go back, I usually tape it to the wall in front of my desk, or if I have a board there, I'll pin it up on the board. You can touch 30 to 40 pieces of information once like this. You want to place the card first and then pin. If you pre-pin a card and then try and do it, pin it, you're not going to get the closeness that you need. To help you understand why we spend the time and we're so diligent about pinning, an example, we were working with a major healthcare provider, and they had brought in probably 70 or so key stakeholders from the community. And we were working, we had 1 day to work with them, and we had 5 subgroups all working the same design. Well, each subgroup filled up 12 boards. So that gave us a total of 60 storyboards. And what I was the one that generated the report. What I was able to do, because we had everything so neatly pinned, I was able to quickly reassemble it and I was able to generate that report and get it into our client's hands by 8 o'clock the next morning. So there is a reason for spending all of the, basically being so anal about your pinning, is because it saves time when you go to generate the report.